like, like it needs to be more loose because that will make people feel more comfortable as men and women, and then they'll just accept that they're men and women rather than try to fight the strictness. But if we look historically, when it actually was more strict, this wasn't as big of a problem. Like, sure, there were still probably people doing it in the shadows, but like that's kind of the whole point. Like, it shouldn't be in public, even if people are having a tough time, or whatever with it. Like, I think the strictness of it actually has shown that it does, like, strictness, or like the expectation, I should say, of men to just be masculine,
So
and kind of like
you
shaming men for like doing like not just a little bit of like feminine type of like accessory, but actually wearing women's clothes in public. I think
do
we
you
all
think
agree
it
that like there's something weird about that, and
do
it's
you
a
think
red
it
flag.
reinforces the alignment of them saying, "Well, I've
I
done
can I,
wrong."
I can agree that there's a line, and even today, for example, a man who's like wearing a dress and wearing women's clothing, he shouldn't be let into a public school or any school, for example, around
Mm.
children. I think that's kind of antisocial behavior, and I think it's behavior that should be condemned. But
Right, but
I
then
agree
should he
that
be
you guys
allowed
are
at the
kind of
grocery store? You're working at the grocery store. Here's this dude just like whatever, wearing a women's
you guys made it
clothes.
a lot more than just the dress and the makeup and everything. You guys said any sort of feminine expression, so.
I never said that. Don't put
Yeah,
words in my
yeah,
mouth.
yeah. No, we're talking about the dresses. We're talking about like actually wearing women's clothes. Like a man wearing women's clothes, it's obviously just he's wearing women's
Yes.
clothes, and it's not
Yes.
designed for his body. And it's just like, okay, it's like I said, I feel like I've at least made this clear that like men can be quote unquote feminine
How about crop
in
tops?
like endless ways. Crop tops are not an issue. Crop tops were very popular in the 70s. If men want to bring back crop tops, you know what I mean, where it shows their midriff, like whatever. That's what it is. It's not
What,
still it's that's
Lionel,
still not
what's
going to be
the
women's
line?
clothes. Look, there's a huge the line is that all the clothes that you would see in the women's section are made for women. Which is, and we all understand, we all argue this every day, that women are female human beings, right? So we don't need to keep calling those
Well, there are
feminine
definitely
clothes.
clothes
Those
that
aren't
are
feminine
not.
clothes. Hold on, those aren't feminine clothes. Those are actually women's clothes, and there can even be masculine women's clothes, and
What makes them
like
women?
I mean,
masculine, like a
clothing
like
is
a
They,
like
not
a
really.
like a
they
business
practice.
suit made for women would be considered a masculine women's clothing, right?
True.
I
Opposed
wouldn't
to
say.
Are you on
I
about
wouldn't
how
say.
it fits
Yeah.
around the
Wait.
body? Like,
That makes no
some of it
sense.
like
Clothing is
accentuates it.
you don't
gendered.
think that a business
Clothing.
suit hold on, is a business suit made for a woman more of a masculine women's attire?
No, there's a different style. I don't think that clothing is inherently tied to a gender, meaning a man shouldn't
Oh,
be able to wear
absolutely it
a woman's
is.
suit.
Yes, it
Like what?
is.
Wait, why would
Yes, it
Absolutely
is.
hold on?
not.
Why
There's a
would a
lot of
man
there's a lot of women's clothing
Stan,
that's not just
Stan,
dresses, right?
wait a
Dan,
minute.
you're still
Why would
queer,
a
honey.
hold on, Stan? Why would a man wear a suit that is tailored for anyone's body other than his own body?
Maybe it's a very skinny guy. I can give you names of
It would
gay
still okay. Then
influencers
that would
on
be a man's
TikTok
suit.
who
That
have a
wouldn't
very
be a woman's
feminine
suit.
body and they wear feminine clothing, things like very short booty shorts. They wear crop tops. They wear things that are more feminine, things that are more female, even though it might not be
But
dresses, but it's still
okay,
feminine clothing.
but okay.
Are they
In what way are
impersonating
you
women?
calling it feminine? In what way are you calling it feminine? Because it's
It
like
looks
it
feminine.
shows
We
the
know what
midriff.
feminine clothing looks like. Yes.
But
The
that's such a
colors, the designs, the shape, the size,
I
all of
don't
it.
know what you mean actually though, because when I'm thinking of
Exactly.
feminine, I'm thinking about women's clothes. All right, that's what we're talking about. Women's clothes. We're not just talking about
Women's
feminine.
clothes.
Like there are
Okay,
ways of making men's clothes.
I can
There are
put
ways that men can dress that can be feminine. Sure, like I was
Dan
saying
wants to
earlier,
conflate feminine clothes with women's clothes.
puffy sleeves, or you know what I mean. Like maybe certain
Okay, do you
fabrics that are
really think
silky,
a
or with
black
the
Floral
hoodie,
prints, with certain
dresses.
prints, maybe yeah, they're like floral prints or something
a black
on the
hoodie,
shirt.
a
That
black
can I
hoodie
finish
in
this
the
sentence?
woman's section, it makes no
Manimal.
sense.
Manimal, go ahead.
I was just trying to make it clear that like there's many ways that men's clothes can be quote unquote feminine if they have some sort of floral print on it, or like you know what I mean, or the way the design is, they can wear a scarf or something, or have a hat or some sort of like um, armbands or even rings, right? Some men wear rings, some men like have
Yeah, but why
earrings,
are they?
certain things like that. That's fine. It's like none of that is women's clothes.
What is okay?
Right?
So
Understand?
a black hoodie that's in the woman's section, like
Okay.
that's technically a woman's clothing item to you. Like, what is? How are you even gonna tell the man wearing that is wearing women's clothes?
Wait, look, a hoodie, like there's gonna be plenty of clothes that are just gonna be basically quote unquote gender neutral, where it's like, oh, this is a hoodie, right? A hoodie that anyone
Correct.
could wear, it's not a man's clothes or a woman's clothes. Pants are kind of in that realm where it's like it's okay for women to wear pants. No one's going to, come out
What
for
about
women
men
for
wearing
having a
women's
different
pants?
type of.
What about men wearing women's pants?
Why would a man wear women's
There
pants?
are
What
some
is it?
on TikTok. I can give you their names, and
Okay,
they look
Those
good.
men
Right?
don't have a cock, my
but
dear.
I just don't understand like
That's called
what
a
is
They
shroom.
do. I'm talking
A
about
cockless
gay
man.
men.
but
No, have you
Okay,
seen
you
women's
guys.
pants?
Okay, you guys. I
They
swear
don't
to
have a
you,
pouch.
like, oh
Stan,
my
think
god.
about what you're saying. Women's pants. Okay, why would a man wear women's pants? Maybe he does
Because
have.
he might like the patterns, he might like the
Just
designs. It might
Or
fit his
he's a
body for
eunuch
what I'm
any
saying.
Why,
without a
reason.
dick.
why are they
Any
being
reason. He
described
doesn't
as
need to
women?
justify that.
Stan, just let me finish the sentence. Okay, so women's pants. Maybe he does have like a big ass or whatever, and maybe the one's pants would fit him. But then when you think about it, they're like women's pants don't have the cutout in the front. They're not
Look up
shaped,
Chris Cotter. Look
they're
up
not
Chris
shaped
Cotter
the
right
same in
now.
the front.
Look up Chris
They're not
Cotter right
like
now
so.
on TikTok. He's a feminine gay man. He wears
I
women's
wish I could have made
clothing
my
and it
point.
suits his body. Like, you're not gonna police
Okay, look,
people's clothing. I'm sorry,
listen,
that is fucking like
Can I ask
listen,
John?
sorry, that was
listen.
I shouldn't
It's
have said that,
coming,
but
like it or not. Get ready, Stan.
Wait, can I
I just
ask
wish
a
I could have made
question?
my
if
point.
We're
it's
not going to
coming, then
shame these
I
people
can
out of
assure you,
society.
most of us would probably go to the opposite side because we don't
Good.
support
So,
I'm
whatever
going to
the heck
protest
you're
you.
fucking
dude,
protesting.
listen,
With
look,
all my
Stan.
might, I'm going to protest you.
Look,
You're
I
absolutely
honestly,
insane.
I can't tell if a dude is wearing women's pants. Okay, if a dude's wearing pants, I'm not gonna be like, are those women's pants? I've never seen a dude wearing women's pants. So maybe they have, and I just didn't notice. That's the whole point about
They do.
pants.
They're called troons.
Well, and then, but so then there could be like yoga pants or whatever. Maybe they're wearing those. Those might be a little bit graphic because, like I'm saying, men have penises, so the pants are actually made differently, right? Our
Not the
underwear.
troons.
Can I
The
The
finish
ones
my
that are
sentence?
chopped off
Unless
the
you're
dick,
Can I make
concerned about
sense? I want to finish
they
my
wear
sentence.
women's pants.
Our
Let Manimal finish.
our underwear is made differently, right? There are things that like they're called women's like boy shorts or whatever.
I hate it when
However,
men
we're-
wear
I'm
bras.
not
Can I just
saying
finish
that-
the sentence?
Sorry, let Manimal finish.
So the women's boy shorts, however like oxymoronic that is or whatever, they're not made to hold the genitalia of a male. Right? So if a man is going to be wearing women's boy shorts, because there was someone who was talking about that the other day, which seemed kind of weird, like for some reason they like wearing it. It's just weird. Why are you
You're not
wearing
actually
women's boy
responding to
shorts
my argument.
rather
You're not-
than just I'm just trying to say that it's weird. Because think about it. There's underwear that is made to hold your genitalia, and you'd rather wear underwear
already
that
told you
is
the
not
several
designed for that
reasons
genitalia.
why a guy would wear
Why?
quote unquote women's clothing. A lot of the
I'm
times,
talking about-
the design,
specifically
the
the women-
shape, the cut.
He's
Specifically
a
women's underwear.
cross-dresser, Stan.
Specifically
Okay,
women's
women's underwear, yeah, that is weird. specifically. But I'm
Transvestite,
saying,
my dear.
we
All I
don't,
was
we
trying
don't
to
even
say.
see people's like underwear
Obviously,
when
we're
we're
not-
walking. So
Yeah, so obviously we're not talking about like I'm not on John's side of like making it illegal necessarily, right? But I do think
You'll
that
get
it's
them,
weird.
Animal.
I do.
You'll
I'm
get
saying
them.
like I do think it's weird because people could wear their underwear, right? If some dude is wearing some women's underwear and no one ever knows about it, I'm still gonna think it's weird. I'm gonna be like, dude,
There was a
why are you doing
live I
that?
scrolled through yesterday where a guy was like shirtless and he was playing piano and he was wearing like a woman's lacy bra, and I was so grossed out by it. Like it's that kind of stuff that's like you get this like gross feeling from it. But like when I see like hyper feminine gay men just like wearing a bunch of like makeup and like sort of feminine shit, like I don't feel nasty in my own body. I'm not like, ugh. But like when I see the straight men doing it, and like as for just like feminine clothing, like even the AGPs, they will wear just like you said, Manimal, like just like a hat and a scarf. Like there's an AGP in my town. He's like an old man, and he's building up to it. You can see he's wearing tights and he's wearing the sweater and the scarf and the earrings and a little bit of makeup. He's getting more and more. Every time I see him, he's like more moving towards it because for him he's pushing the boundaries, right? He's pushing the boundary. The next thing he'll push more boundary, more push.
Yeah.
So there does have
I don't
to be a
think
line,
men should
but
be
where we
wearing
draw
tights.
that line,
Martha,
it's like I don't know where we draw that line.
that gay man that you feel sympathy and empathy and identify with and coddle, what if that was a bisexual?
Well, I'd
Does it
probably
diminish your coddling
I'm
instinct?
not even. It's not even like it's a coddling instinct. It's just like a
No. If he's
intuition.
straight,
It's
you
an
get a
it's an
disgust
intuition.
response.
I don't get the disgust response.
What
from
if
the
it's a
gay man.
bisexual man? Where's your disgust response there?
I do have a disgust response. That's why I ask every single trans-identified male if
how
he's
do
male or female
you-
attracted.
how would you gauge or make this criteria if it's purely based on your feeling towards what the sexual orientation of that man is? You don't find
just
that a
telling
bit
you-
contradictory?
Sorry. I'm not trying to make any rules. Oh my God, I just swallowed something weird. I'm not trying to make any rules by my instincts. I'm just telling you how I feel. Like when
You
I
can't regulate
encounter these
things on
people.
feelings, though.
Sorry, hold on. I'm not proposing regulations on my feelings. I'm just telling you how I feel when I see a gay man versus a straight man. Oh my God, I just swallowed my spit. Hold on. I'm sucking on a candy and it went down the wrong way. Anyway, yeah. So I'm not trying to propose anything. We're just spitballing. We're just having the conversation. I'm just saying that when I encounter straight men cross-dressing as opposed to, like, that's why I said go check out the Goddess Boys page. When I see the Goddess Boys and I look at them, I don't feel angry. I don't feel the same thing as I feel towards drag queens. I don't feel the same thing that I feel towards AGPs. I just see feminine gay men like being super femme, and I don't really give a fuck.
So you
But I
think
do
there's
give a
good
fuck.
troons and bad troons?
Well, I don't see them as troons. I just see them as gay
They
men who
are.
are just.
No. These are troons. They're
But a
LARPing
troon
with the
would
opposite
be
sex.
a troon would be
Next.
men who are literally like saying they are us, pretending like this is what I always say to them. I don't know if you hear
Martha.
You don't know- hold on, let me
You're
finish.
losing the plot. You're losing the plot.
Just a sec though. Let me explain. So what I always say to them is I say femininity's up for grabs. I say what isn't up for grabs is our bodies. If you are taking wrong for your sex hormones to try to appear as if you're a female person, if you are purchasing female simulacrums for your male body, such as vaginoplasties or breast implants, if you are taking the language that belongs to females and applying it to yourself. And then you're going on to do all the stereotypes and femininity and all that to complete your woman costume. I have a problem with that. Do I have a problem if people, like, it's like blackface. Like, I'm sure that black people are fine with certain hairstyles being appropriated, certain cultural norms being shared, dress, garb, music, etc. However, if white people were to put black onto their white bodies, take the language and everything, and say we are black people, plus the stereotypes, plus the garb, plus the cultural things, that's a whole different story than if people just, that's why I say femininity's up for grabs, but our bodies are not up for grabs.
I just want
Right,
to say
so
though
what
that
you-
blackface
Yep.
would be offensive even if they don't identify as black.
Exactly.
Right.
What you're describing is an anatomic
Yeah,
AGP.
sure, yeah.
For your
Well,
criteria is no
hold
to
on.
anatomic AGPs, but yes to transvestic AGPs. How do you square that in your head?
I don't, because I don't think gay men who like are
They're called
feminine
gay
in their
GPs,
garb.
Martha. They're gay GPs. They wanna be
Femininity,
fucked like a woman,
femininity is
alright?
not
I don't know if
exclusive
they
to
are.
women.
They
I'm
wanna be
sorry.
fucked
They're
like
not
a
getting
woman.
Femininity is not
off.
exclusive to women, and
It's not a
masculinity is
sexual
not
thing,
exclusive
though, I
to
don't
men.
think.
Oh, it absolutely is. Have you had sex
To
with
the
a
gay
gay
men?
man?
It
To the
absolutely
gay
Have you
men?
had
is.
sex with a gay man?
God, no.
They say, fuck my
We're not
pussy,
talking.
all right?
We're not
Treat me
talking
like a
about
woman.
technicalities. We're talking
Don't tell
about
us
what
that.
This
should and
is
shouldn't be.
JPP. Dr. Az Hakim at the NHS was a counselor for 14 years for these troons. He does not make a distinction between gay or straight AGPs. A lot of these gender critical women do because they have a knee jerk reaction for gay men. Drop it.
Well,
You're
honestly,
psycho. You're actually psychotic.
I don't
You're a
have
psychopath.
I
You're
think
a
you think
groomer
I'm a
too,
lot
sir.
more I think you think I have a lot more charitable to gay men than I do. I get called homophobic on this app all the time because of the way that I call out gay misogyny and gay perversion. But I honestly think, don't you think that autogynephiles are different than gay? Because like autogynephiles are seeing themselves as a woman and getting off on that, whereas
That's what
gay
the gay men
men
see. They want to be
They're-
fucked like a woman. Fuck my pussy. Literally, they say that.
Oh, this might be a bit much for the
Have
lads,
some
but-
sex with gay men and you'll figure it out in 2
No,
seconds.
thank you. I'm good on that.
I'll help you out. They want to be
No,
fucked like a
okay.
woman.
I'll take your word for it.
Take my word for it. I've had sex with many, many gay men. And they make woman noises and oohs and ahs and they say, fuck my pussy.
Oh
They're
my
gay
god.
GPs.
Okay, we got
Yes.
to tone it down a bit.
No, you need to know what's going on. You're still
Okay,
copying these gay troons. This is
No,
a problem.
hey, do you want my account to get banned? Next time you say that shit, you're getting dropped. I don't care.
What shit? Gay GPs?
No, you know what shit.
What shit?
the F my P, like it's just a bit much.
Oh, the PUSSY, that's an algorithm trigger word?
I think so.
A lot of the words that you say.
I think the sexually explicit, like it's just getting too sexually explicit. That's all.
For who? You or the TikTok?
For
The
TikTok.
TikTok.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just yeah. I always get worried that
genitalia.
live will get.
How's
taken down.
that?
All right, I believe you. Okay, I believe you. I've been starting to think.
Ask around.
I've been starting to think about.
Ask around.
I've been starting to think about this too a little bit, like where they like to see themselves as women, and it turns them on to be
I'll give you a reference.
not in the same way that AGPs, because they're attracted to women. But the gay men aren't attracted to women, but yeah, they see themselves. They want to be seen as a woman and feel like a woman to be effed by a man.
Yes.
Regard,
This is
yeah,
the
no, I
ultimate
see what you're saying.
progression of homosexuality. I'll give you a written
Okay.
reference.
I see what you're
This
saying.
is a TRA. This is a guy that trooned out. His troon name now is this, and he literally says this is the ultimate progression of homosexuality is to be a woman. I'll send you his I've got his memes.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I can see that progression in some of the super hyper feminine gay men. Just a very, and yeah, I guess the goddess boys too. Yeah, because they're just kind of like and ooh and they're doing a lot of that. It's true,
Yeah.
and it's like kind of a cornified thing
A
too.
lot of them also, like the way they talk to each other, they like to adopt the whole lingo of calling each other girls, dolls, bitches, whatever.
Yeah, it's weird.
This is RuPaul. RuPaul was the worst thing to happen to us since AIDS. For 10 years, we've been pumped into our heads with this awful performative drag queen talk that's taken over the gay community. It's disgusting.
John, why are a lot of them like hyper feminine?
RuPaul, it's brought broadcast into our television radio. It's got branches all over
RuPaul's
the world.
worst. RuPaul's the worst.
I'm Canadian. We've got a children's CBC program for gay drag kids. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, I'm Canadian too. Are you in I'm in BC. Are you in BC?
So am I.
Yeah, so you're probably like, yeah, and
CBC
Canada
Gem. Have
is-
you seen that? The drag kids? CBC Gem.
can you send it to me? I don't think I've seen that one, but I've
I
seen
don't
that
watch
there's like
TV
drag,
anymore. I'm disgusted by television.
that there's drag kid camps, and there's like,
Yeah. No, this is the CBC.
I remember
program.
that the CBC, was that when the CBC called like that Fifi and Fufu characters like beacons of light? They're like, these are
Yeah.
beacons of light, and these fucking men have like the most violent, disgusting corn on the internet with like weapons and shit. And like, so these kids are like, you know, loving these drag queen groomer hour people, and then they go
Yes.
and Google them, and they probably see their horrific like corn content on the fucking internet. These guys are nasty.
Yeah, that's all over CBC. They've got Zipper Tits, the beavers for the animated kids shows. You look
Yeah, I saw
closely, you're
that.
like, what? Yeah,
I saw the beaver with the mastectomy
tits.
scars, which
Zipper
I don't like.
Tits.
You have to
Look
understand
up
for
the
the people.
lingo, Martha.
Wasn't that from Excellensic? Didn't she come up with zipper tits?
I don't know, but when I saw them on Grinder, I was like, what the frick am I looking at here? These giant scars across their chest. And when gay men do Grinder, after the first hello, we say dick pic. And guess what this woman sent me on Grinder? Her vagina pic. And I said, are you going to pound me with that?
Oh my god! Is she really?
All over Grinder. Oh, yeah. It's all over Grinder. The gay men are going, what the heck is going on here? We've got
I'm just going
and
into-
zipper tits all over our screen.
I'm just going into the grocery store, and I always lose service. I'll still be listening, but I'll probably be too choppy to contribute for about the next 20 minutes.
Do you know the gay bar called Punk Jack on Davy Street?
No, I don't go
No?
on Davy Street because it's too scary to even walk
I do.
around downtown.
I'm an active gay man. They had a female troon in the shower power dancing naked with her beard and muscles and vagina at a gay bar.
I bet
flipped
you
my lid.
gay culture in Canada is
Blood came in my
horrific, I bet.
eyes when I saw that.
I'm not in gay culture, so
I am.
all I see
Let
is
me
like
clue you in. What's going on?
it's probably horrific. Yeah.
Yeah. And I looked around going, we're homosexuals. Why is there a vagina gyrating in the go-go stage here? Is anyone else clicking in here? Are they turning away? Are they objecting? Are they raising a voice? Nothing. They just kept dancing. And I thought, am I crazy here? I thought the definition was exclusively attracted to same sex, and we've got a vagina being pushed in our face here. This is gay conversion therapy. And no one's clicking in. What the hell's going on? I just like, I think I'm like, maybe I'm the only one. I'm nuts.
Definitely erasing the LGB, and it's a medicalized conversion therapy and eugenics towards. It's like the worst thing that's ever happened to the LGB, and it's one of the worst things to ever happen to women and children. So yeah, it's kind of the worst fucking thing ever.
The
Demonic.
analogy with
Utterly demonic.
blackface is actually really apt. And now that Stan's back, I just wonder, like, Stan, can you see how the whole thing of men wearing women's clothes is kind of analogous to like women's face, right? We could say that we could call it women's face, and it's how it's analogous to blackface, right?
You
Yeah.
bet.
Right. So this is the argument. Then it's not contradictory for us to be like, hey, men should not be performing woman face, even if they're not calling themselves women, even if they're just doing it as whatever, like this artistic entertainment or whatever they want to call it, or for even just for socially, just whatever, like, expression. We shouldn't be entertaining it. We should actually not like.
I don't know about limiting people's like
It's
freedom and
croonery.
expression to that
Drag face
level.
is croonery.
But wait, Stan, should we limit people's ability to do blackface?
I mean, to be honest, inherently, I don't see anything wrong with painting your face black. It's because it's a sensitive issue for like the black community.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
what-
personally
so wait.
inherently like
But wait,
I'm
if
brown.
you saw
brown.
someone
If I-
doing it
if
in
I-
public,
Look,
if you
I'm
saw
brown.
someone
If I
doing it in
saw a
public-
white person, if I saw a white person in brown face, I actually wouldn't care. Like, I can say that. So
what do you mean
yeah,
brown?
to me, yeah. It's,
Brown
if
face
a white
different than
person
black face?
paints their face like brown, yeah, I wouldn't see an issue with that. I'm brown. I
It's not
don't see any issues with that.
caricaturing black people, degrading them, dehumanizing them, making them an object.
If they're if it's like a minstrel show and they're like pretending all of that, yeah. But
What do you
the things
think a drag show
the
is?
things that
It's
people
a
the things
minstrel
that
show.
people call blackface in today's time is not just literal blackface. They call, like, if you over tan, like, they call that, oh, that's like some form of blackface. If you are, wearing a lot of bronzer or makeup, they call that blackface. Like, I don't think that
No.
stuff is like legitimate.
Blackface is a definition. It's the old minstrel shows from the South, and gay men have been doing this for decades and decades and decades, and women have not said, fuck this. We are not costumes to be worn,
I mean,
taken off.
blackface isn't illegal either.
I'm
You know
saying
that, right?
fuck this. I've been
Right, but
outward
it's socially totally condemned. Like, everyone in society pretty much universally is.
Are you?
like,
Are we gonna
that's not
say? Are we gonna say things like long hair, makeup, and femininity should be exclusive to
cool.
women?
Hold on, no, because you're
Oh,
associating
stop
long
it,
hair.
Stan.
You're associating
Stop
hair
it.
length with femininity, and I don't think that's
Good Lord,
actually
you're
true.
queer.
Well, what is
Stan.
woman face? Woman faces like the wig, the makeup, the dress.
It's
Definitely drag queens are
it's
woman
more
face.
about the
That is fucking
entire, like,
offensive.
all the
Yes,
attire.
correct.
You know what I mean?
The fake boobs, the fake hips, the padding.
Right.
That's anatomical AGP Inc.
Right. Woman
Trans
face
is a
would actually probably be
spectrum.
more accurately described as like woman body in some sense, because it is more about the entire, like, form that they try to
If they
embody,
want to
not
do that
just,
as an
like,
art form or something,
shit
like
or
in a club, I see no issues with that. If they want to go into schools and children's spaces, I'm against that. But I'm not against them just expressing how they want, like, in
Would you
in
have
general.
the same? Would you hold the same way about, like,
Blackface and art
should there be clubs where, like, people just do blackface and just
Yeah.
stick together?
I
to-
don't
bring back the
inherently
minstrel
see.
show.
I don't
Entertainment.
inherently see anything wrong with blackface. I don't really care about that.
Did you ever think it was
Just-
problematic
Oh
in the
my
past?
God.
Yeah, because it was intentionally done to mock those people, right? It was done in minstrel shows. In today's time,
How is the drag today not like? I mean, even if it's not done intentionally, let's say someone wants to just have like a really well intentioned blackface performance that's not well.
It's really dangerous
bad
to
intention.
dehumanize women.
I think you should socially
gets
condemn
us
it, but I'm
unaligned.
against regulating this type of stuff. Like,
But then I'm saying, like, that would be a contradiction on your view then. If you can see how, we should socially condemn certain things like blackface clubs where people are just doing it in their little like nightlife or whatever, then if you're saying that it should be that blackface should be socially condemned, and then you're kind of saying that like we're
What
coming
about
off base
Drewski
by
doing
saying
whiteface? Should that be condemned when he did
well,
whiteface?
whiteface is totally different than blackface. There's a double standard, just like how it's the same thing with like women being like overly masculine or whatever. Like that's not going to be as offensive to anyone, right? Because the dynamic
Traditional, it's
is
like,
But
not the same
when we
between
say
oppressor
women's
and oppressed.
oppression, when we say women's oppression is sex based, which is a very common argument that you hear in GC spaces, that's literally saying that it's not just dependent upon women being feminine. So it's not really just always femininity by itself that's policed, because if that was the case, then all of women's oppression would also apply to any feminine male, right? Which we see is not the case. So it's not
Well, I
exactly a
think
one-to-one
No, not
comparison.
not exactly. But feminine men are demonized as well on the basis that they're feminine and they're perceived more female-like.
Yeah, but I would say, for example, I'm talking about things like voting rights, right? So when you're denying women the right to vote, that is a sex-based thing. It's not how feminine
No,
you
no, no,
are,
no.
and we're not
no.
policing how feminine the man is to restrict his voting rights. It's clearly just sex-based. That has nothing to do
right.
with
no,
feminine
we're just
expression.
it's really
I don't know what
disrespectful
to
though,
do.
and dehumanizing and hypersexualizing. So like what drag queens do is they take every negative stereotype that surrounds women and they promote it, like bimbification, hypersexualization, objectification. They make fun of our
Lactation,
What
body,
about
our bodily
gestation,
functions.
menstruation.
John,
Yeah,
Dr.
everything. And so
Hakeem
this
said,
hurts us because it dehumanizes us. And when you dehumanize a group of people who are already dehumanized and unalived every 10 minutes, this is a dangerous thing. So we don't want to promote it. I don't think that they should be like policing, like go shut down the drag clubs with police. But I think that we should, as a society, be like,
I
holy
don't
shit, are you
believe
guys
in
ever just
promoting
doing
it either.
blackface over there?
I don't
John,
believe in promoting it
Dr.
at all.
But it's not an art form. It's like disrespect, like to the highest degree. And this type of dehumanization results in like femicide and shit because like we're not seen as fully human beings and like that's not
Well,
okay.
you can't
Just
say
like
all of it is
blackface,
not an art form, right? Because, for example, I have watched some
it's
of like
not.
I
It's
have watched some of RuPaul's
not.
Drag Race episodes where it's
John,
literally a
It's
design challenge, and
degeneracy.
they're designing their own clothes. That is an art. I don't care what
They're
anyone says.
pulling
Designing
babies
John,
full
out of their
garments and
vaginas.
costumes
can I
is
speak to
Blackface,
John?
then you could say art. Blackface could be an art then too. You could say, but we're
no,
not going to
because
say
there's
that.
no art associated with blackface. What is the art form associated with
John,
They can make
blackface?
their costumes. They can make their costumes. They can
Makeup.
dream up
Yeah,
new
but
ways to
that's not
disrespect
inherent to
black people.
blackface. That's just making costumes.
wait, can I speak
Yeah,
to
you
John?
can, but okay.
Literally, they have their own makeup, their own
John,
clothes, their
Dr.
dance, their songs.
John, Dr. Hakeem said it's oppositional. That drag's not inherently wrong because obviously it's made to be gimmicky, it's made to be a caricature. But even though they're expressing this femininity,
We don't need to be making caricatures of women.
yes, I know, but he said they're poking fun at the stereotypes, not the women themselves, because they're still
We're
seen as
not.
men.
No,
Even though they're-
They
absolutely
were making
not.
fun of women.
That's
They're
what
making
Dr.
fun of
Hakeem
women. Full
says.
stop. Full
There was
stop.
plenty
That
that Dr.
sounds
Oz
very,
Hakeem got
very
wrong.
similar to blackface. Like you
Yeah,
just
I
said
don't
it.
agree with it, but I'm just saying Dr. Hakeem said it's oppositional.
So
He had
should
some
women
Yeah, very
wait, wait, wait,
synonymous.
should women be able to like essentially impersonate another woman and make a caricature out of that?
Why not?
What's
I
wrong?
mean,
That's
women.
like
Women don't hold
asking, can a black
institutional
person make
power.
fun of another black person? And can they? Because that's like
No,
asking.
what is no? Tell
That's
me
a circular.
Tell me logically that's not circular. Tell me logically what is different about that versus
Well,
what we're talking about.
Because women don't hold institutional and systemic power. Men
Exactly.
do. So when men
What is
make
the
fun of us, when men
institutional and
do
systemic
this,
power a man's getting versus a woman when they're impersonating a woman?
because the men hold the power. Like it's like when white people do blackface, it's more harmful than if black people do whiteface, right? Because of the institutional and systemic power that white people have over black people and have had over black people. This power structure dehumanizing the subjugated is like additionally harmful.
I don't believe in this like whole like I think everyone can be racist to everyone. I think a black person doing whiteface is just as racist as a white person doing blackface. I don't subscribe to this idea in the first place.
Well,
At all,
hold
so
on.
I
It
don't know.
might be just as disrespectful, like because we're doing the same thing. But you can't just ignore the institutional power that one group has over the other. So when black people do whiteface, it doesn't have the same impacts, right?
Mhm.
I mean, not necessarily. There's no like I don't see some actual impact every single time a white person or a black person do blackface and whiteface. In fact, if anything, I see like white people who would be doing blackface get more consequences for that, right? If anything, I would say they are being institutionally affected more. Who would you say is being affected worse? The person who's losing their college scholarship and their college acceptance, or
Right.
Drewski?
Nowadays, socially.
Tell me who's
Only
getting more
because they're being
consequences.
racist. Only because they're being racist.
Yeah,
If you're
I
being
mean, Drewski's
racist,
doing whiteface. What's the difference with
so
that?
if you're doing whiteface and you're part of the oppressed class of the like if you're making fun of your oppressor, that's different than the oppressor class
I don't
making fun of
subscribe to
the
this type of
oppressed.
ideology, like this
All right,
oppressor
It's
oppressed.
not an
let's
Like,
ideology.
I
It's just
It's just
systemically what's
systemic.
happening.
It's a historical,
not-
systemic, and
all right,
Go ahead.
let's introduce
Like women are systemically and institutionally oppressed by male people. If male people dehumanize us in like a societal way, that causes more objectification, more dehumanization, and like we're being unalived like every 10 minutes because female people are not even seen as full human beings. And so when the institutional power structures of men further dehumanize us, further
think it's harmful, but
no, it's always been problematic.
inherently, no. I mean, there was a long time before any of this was. I remember still a little bit of the early
people were a
2000s.
good sport
No one
about
cared
it for a
about
long
drag like
time.
that. No one cared about
Yeah,
drag like
because
that.
and also nobody cared about like the 80s movies where women were portrayed as like sexual objects even more so than they are now and smacked on the ass and treated in disgusting ways on
there's nothing
screen.
wrong with that.
And nobody had a problem with that, right? But like that's because the systemic sort of the societal and cultural misogyny was so like normal and like the air we breathe that people just like I have to point out to women, I'm like, hey, do you know you're fucking being made fun of and like this is the blackface of woman here? And they're at first they're like, no way.
This is why men die early. You keep
and
fucking
then-
talking. You've been talking
on.
for the last 5 minutes.
Okay, can we drop this? Oh,
Like,
I
holy
have
shit.
power, never mind.
I'm going to answer this question.
bro.
So basically like I have to tell these women like here's why this is like disgusting and fucking disrespectful, and then they see what I'm saying. They're like, oh, and they didn't realize it because they were so steeped in misogyny before. They didn't really understand that like, hey, this is actually so fucked up what we're being good sports about here.
I can agree with that, with how that's problematic. My issue is like how you guys are framing it, because we know drag kings don't exist on the same level, right? Like there's not as many women even like pretending to be men or whatever. But if there were, I would like really see an equal issue with it on a cultural level. But either way, I think everyone should be allowed to
Couldn't
express themselves.
possibly be
However,
equal.
Look at the
couldn't
portrayal of a
possibly be
drag
equal.
king. A drag king is always the most like high. Drag queen is always the bimbification. It's like
I mean, there's some very high
and of her
level
actual body
portrayals
and her
of women.
breasts. All this stuff squirting out of all these areas, like woo!
That's not always true
pull
for
a baby
drag.
out
I
or
mean,
whatever.
there's some
Insane.
very, very artistic drag performances out
And
there.
artistic
to do
is
with
like
fashion.
I feel like you're
bimbification of
being an
that.
apologist
The
right now.
over
not true.
sexualization.
I don't
It's the
appreciate
huge,
it.
massive breasts. It's the huge, like everything's over exaggerated. That's the whole point.
That's
of
not
drag.
inherently what
over-
drag has to
drag-
be. We can police that aspect of
It's
drag,
an
but that's
over
not what all of drag
exaggeration
has to
of
be.
all of their like of
How
their
are you
entire
gonna
body,
police
of
it,
their actual
Sam?
body.
It's
Whereas
just a
you do
general
realize-
consensus of
Whereas
drag.
drag
How do you
king
police
is
it?
a
Tell
like,
us.
exaggeration of the male's like status. It's not exaggeration of his body. There's nothing to like to make fun of. Like they're not making fun of the man's body. Not
Well,
mocking.
drag kings
people
don't.
that
Even, that's why I said drag
plan.
kings don't exist on the same level, in the same number. But I'm saying that there are artistic elements to drag. What we should be vilifying is not really just the drag itself, but what you're talking about, right? The way they're doing these things it is disrespecting women. The way they're portraying themselves with the boobs and everything that you're saying, that is disrespectful. But I've seen many tasteful like representations of drag, people making full outfits. That's
You're gonna
more
have to
so.
send me a tasteful. Can you send me an
Well,
example of a tasteful representation? I would love to see
Oh,
that.
there's
Martha, I'll
many.
give you.
Yeah.
They do
Do you
it.
remember that
critique it.
British actor Dame Edna? You remember Dame Edna?
I don't know who that is. No.
She's an
I remember
Australian.
Dame
He's
Edna.
She's
All right,
big,
all right,
an
all right, all right.
international
Hold
performer.
on. Q, I've been trying to make you moderator, but it says you have to follow me. I don't know.
Okay,
Just,
I'll follow you.
just follow me real quick. I'll make you moderator. You can unfollow after.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, because that shit was.
Dame Edna was a drag queen, but was a comedian as well, and would have interviews and make fun of, repartee. It was witty. It wasn't squirting cream out of her tits and babies coming out of her, genitals in the bottom with RuPaul laughing. It wasn't that. We've gone from the Dame Ednas to these creatures on RuPaul now.
But that's what I'm
That's the
saying.
problem.
That your issue is
You
not
say that
inherently
like
drag, it's the way that
pantomime.
drag
Wouldn't
is.
you say Dame Edna was kind of pantomime?
It was kind of what do you call that? Vaudeville? You remember vaudeville where they did like variety shows? That was Dame
Yeah.
Edna.
yeah,
It was
it's-
about
it's-
witty repartee, jokes, comedy,
yeah,
not bodily
various-
parts squirting out.
various skits and jokes and moments. Yeah.
There was another one in England, very famous one, like 30 years ago. Lily something.
They call it in England. They call it pantomime in England.
Can I
Yeah,
also
and it-
point out the movie Pink Flamingo, since we're talking about drag?
Yeah, there's that too. The Pink
That's
Flamingo.
divine.
Flamingos is a movie about
Water.
Mystique, or it stars Mystique rather, and it is one of the most graphic movies of all time. If you've ever
Yeah.
seen the video, like that goes around, it's like a meme of it's like condone first degree murder, endorse cannibalism, eat shit. That comes from that. movie.
Poop, right?
Oh, that's Divine,
Yeah.
right? Not Mystique, Divine.
Oh, Mystique. Okay.
Pretty graphic.
Oh, I thought it was Mystique. It's Divine.
It's divine. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They also had
Disgusting creatures.
there was a paraphilia
Yep.
in there where they were attracted to the amputated stumps. Do you remember that?
God, that's the one of the movie that I
It's
like.
called apotemnophilia.
Yep.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's severing body parts. There's
No, they
another
have
where
the-
you're,
they have
where
the
you're
paraphilia
actually attracted
matching.
to the amputated parts, the stumps.
Mm-hmm. Like
That was
they,
in that
they
movie
have a
too.
paraphilia towards, like, let's say you have a severed arm on the table and then you start, with the arm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen that documentary about Ed Gein, the Netflix?
Yeah, monster.
Yeah. The monster.
Documentary is an
That
actual
is
show.
great.
it The Monster?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Was
You're right.
it
It's not a
great?
documentary, right? Sure, right.
It was,
Really?
The Monster, or was it a docu-series? It was a docu-series.
it was a
Yeah.
docu-series, I think,
I
but
don't
it
think it's
wasn't
Yeah.
like...
fully accurate. I mean, there's obviously embellishments with it, but
No, they have to in most but yes.
The gynephilia is what
Yes,
people are
yeah.
saying is inaccurate, is that it wasn't full gynephiliac. He was
I mean-
very attracted to the idea of himself as a woman, but I don't think that he was diagnosed with gynephilia at the time.
I mean, he
well, not at the time.
It was highly
It was
suspected, though.
known about. He was
dressing
But
up
Ray
like-
Blanchard coined the
Doing
term
everything
autogynephilia in the 80s. Ed Gaines did his murdering or unaliving in the 70s, no?
He did
the 50s.
60.
60s? Okay.
60s, early
20
70s.
years before Ray Blanchard came out with the word
They did
autogynephilia.
have the word gynephiliac at the time. That was a term, and it
No,
was
Ray
an actual
Blanchard
medical
coined that term in the
diagnosis to
80s.
be a gynephiliac.
Not in the 50s, 60s, or 70s. 80s
Well, they
was
had
when he actually came out with it.
Gynephilia just means female attracted. So Ray Blanchard coined autogynephilia
Yeah, auto.
as like a paraphilia.
That's what
A
Ames
gyne-
had. He
gynephile
wanted
is
to
just like,
wear the
isn't that
woman.
just like being attracted to women?
Exactly.
Yeah. Gynephile was but
Another word for
gynephile was
female
in the 50s
attracted.
as
Yeah.
well. It wasn't just coined in the 60s. It was also in the 50s. It was a study up until when they finally released what the final study would be called and known as, especially with all the cases that they found.
A question for Lilith. Do you not think that drag is in the umbrella or the spectrum of trans?
Absolutely not.
Not?
No, I don't think so at all, because it's a
Really?
impersonation. It's
I
not like
disagree 100%.
because so what the difference is, right? I can't take this off at the end of the day. I can't take off my mastectomy. I can't take off the fact that I took wrong sex hormones, unfortunately. I can't take any of that away. People who do drag can take all of that off at the end of the day. And
What
they
about transvestic AGPs? What do you think they do when it's time to go to bed?
I don't believe they take it off because transvestite means they would transition. That was the word before transsexual.
No, my dear. Transvestite comes from the word vestiges, vêtements in French, your clothes. They're cross-dressers. They take off their clothes and they go to bed.
Yeah,
That's what a drag
costumes or
queen does.
attires or
They take off their
that
clothes and
would
go to bed.
camouflage or
That's
it's
what she said.
That's what I said.
yeah.
Yeah, they're crossies. One is more permanent, one is temporary.
No, she said
No, I'm saying that
Really?
with actual transsexuals, right? The actual like disorder of having gender dysphoria, we can't take this shit off at the end of the day. People who
You're talking
cross-dress,
about
they can.
anatomic. You're talking about anatomic AGPs. They've got
What
boob
is that?
jobs, all right, and rock pockets. That's the 4 types of AGP.
I think it's the
Just
permanence. I don't
AGP.
think
There's
it's the
also
permanence.
things like homosexual transsexuals and heterosexual transsexuals.
No, there's no such things, my dear. No. This is a
Wait.
talking point for all these troons. They're fighting amongst each other of who's the real tranny. You're a fake one. I'm a gay good one.
Heterosexual.
This is all talking
That was
points
actually part of
between the
Ray Boynton's
troons.
study
They're
as well.
fighting amongst each other of who's in the hierarchy of trans. They're tearing each other apart. Go in their spaces, listen to these troonies.
Needs to make a meme that says, I'm not a fake woman. I'm a real fake woman.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what they do every night.
I'm a
They
real
spend
fake
hours
No,
trashing each other.
Martha, I'm gonna text Cuttlefish and I'm gonna have him put that into Sora AI to make that a Disney Pixar fucking trailer.
I'm not
I'm not a
fake
real-
woman. I'm a
Did
real
you see
fake
the
Real
one on
fake
my
woman.
story? Zipper tits? Oh, that
I've
was
seen.
fucking wonderful.
See, Martha, I didn't come up with that.
Well, I think it was Exelancic who came up with that
Yeah,
one.
Exelancic was the one who
She's
came out
always
with
like the
zipper
nip
tits.
nops and the fake tits and the zipper tits and everything.
Yesterday, she
I
went
met
into Belfast
Exelancic.
Space. She ripped the skin off these turfs. Like, it was a brawl in there with 300 turf women. It was utter pandemonium when she went in there.
Yeah.
Well, how's the weather?
Cold, kind of. Yeah, so you don't want to radicalize me further, John. It's not a good idea. I'm already too radical on this app that people are dismissing
Martha,
me as
you'll
it
get
is. So
there.
if I get any more radical,
I
people are
give you
even
6
gonna
months,
listen to
my
me.
dear. I was where you were, seriously, like 6 or 7 months ago.
Honestly, though, like I get called so many things because of my positions, and I've had to battle like for my life on here because people just think it's too radical and it's homophobic and the coddling of different like the gay. You're not allowed to talk about perversion or misogyny within gay culture. You're not allowed to talk about AGP because you can't just everyone's an AGP, so you're just disregarded if you say everyone's an AGP, which I don't say everyone's an AGP, but I think that there's a lot more studying that needs to be done. Like we don't fully understand the gay GP, I guess. Like I've always had this inkling like, something's going on there, but it's not the same thing as a female attracted man who's cross-dressing. It's definitely like that. Like you said, like they want to be effed as a woman. They want to see themselves.
You know why
like
you
that.
think that?
And it
Because
turns them on.
You've been talking to the gay troons. They do not want to be labeled as the gay GP. They want to demonize the straight ones. This is their trick.
They don't even do that. They were like they embrace the AGPs.
No. They smear the hell out of them. Go in their spaces.
Some of them
They
do.
put
Some
up
of
their
them do.
pictures. They go sleuthing. Where was their name? What was their wife? What was their business? And what was their everything? They smear for hours, these straight AGPs. Meanwhile, there's 6
Yeah, I'm
gay
there for
AGPs
that.
going, this is cool. Let's make fun of the straight AGPs. That's how
But
thick and twisted these guys are.
that the gay GPs are less dangerous towards women? Because like the 51%, like there was a study in the 80s done that 51% of sex unalivers were AGPs. And like those are and like the 74% of the men in prison who are mimicking our sex there for sexual and violent crime against women and children, I'm sure those are AGPs. Like, I don't think the homosexual transsexuals are dangerous to women in the same way that heterosexual transsexuals are dangerous to us. Like, so when they slander them and smear them and ostracize them and have them demonized, I think that I'm there for that.
Yeah, but aren't we competition? Because if you think about it, they still exhibit male aggression. It's not on a
They're
lesser
doing
scale.
the
It's
exact
just the
same
same.
thing as the straight ones.
Everyone. I gotta call in.
But they're not graping us and unaliving us the way that the heterosexual ones
Doesn't
are.
matter. The behavior is the same. They're LARPing as the opposite SMECs, straight or gay, yet the women TERFs are coddling these gay troons. It pisses me off. They're using our sexual orientation as cover for this bad behavior. Stop.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I definitely don't like any man dehumanizing women and wearing us on their bodies. And honestly, I always say this: I don't know who's worse to talk to, the HSTS or the autogynephiles, because they're both insufferable in their own ways. They both have such a level of misogyny that is like, hard to handle no matter who I talk to. Like the HSTS, they're the ones who are like, they turn every panel into the Jerry Springer show, and it's all about how you look and how hot you are and how fuckable you are to the male gaze, and whether or not you're worthy as a human being because of how hot you are. And they're so hot, and they're gonna take your man, and they're whatever. And then the AGPs are like trying to manipulate you and bring you alongside and be like, oh, I'm not, I'm just this, and they have all the ideology that they manipulate women with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Oh my god, let's go.
Someone's mic is open. There we go.
That was crazy. Yeah,
The
so they're
new
both like,
scam, Martha. The new
I've
scam
been
is-
debating both of these like AGPs and HSTS for 3 years on this app, and they're
It's
both
bunk.
like,
It's bunk. It's all bunk, all right? These are talking points that these gay ones have created to throw you off their trail. They're trying to justify their LARPing by their sexual orientation. Have you not clued into it yet?
I mean, yeah, definitely like.
We're allowed to do this because we're gay. Fuck you. You do not
Well,
get a pass.
I
because of
say
your
that to them too.
sexual
Like,
orientation.
do you think I don't when I'm talking to homosexual transsexuals, I say I think their behavior is disrespectful, dehumanizing, objectifying. I think that they have male privilege and that they think that they can put our bodies onto their male bodies because they like the aesthetic, because they want to attract masculine men, because they they dehumanize us for their own entertainment or expression or whatever. And I don't let them off the hook.
You know what they call tricking the straight men to have sex with them? They have a word for it.
What's that?
PUSSY, stunting.
What? Really?
Yes, that's what it's
I've
called.
never heard of.
I'm telling you, I know the lingo.
Why-
Okay,
why do they
I've
have
watched
that
these
terminology?
fuckers. That's what they do amongst each other. They try and
What
trick
the
straight men to have smex with them.
Well, this is,
a
and I always say
criminal
this
act.
too, that like they're giving feminine, like female sex signals to straight men, which confuse them, because like I do know that like straight men, they are attracted to the femininity. They are attracted, like usually women would perform that femininity in order to attract a mate, right? Like they would be putting out signals to male people that they want to attract their sexual attention, right? So these men, feminine sexual signals, and it does confuse men. It confuses their sexuality because they are attracted to these signals.
Men will have smex with a muffler. Okay,
It's true. It's
that's
true.
how discriminating they
and
are.
they're very visual though. Like, and there's like the hyper stimulus too of like it being this weird taboo thing as well. Like men, the men are doing it, and so it's just like, even if they're
Martha,
not gay, like it's like a weird fetish thing.
one of the guys that
Hi,
did get tricked,
Crystal.
one of the guys that did get tricked by one of these troons, he came into the space and he was telling us how it was.
All right, I'm saying hi to Crystal. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm just irritated. Hi, Crystal. How are you today?
Hi, Beatrice. Are you getting tired?
No, it's just my kids. They're running me ragged, but I'm trying to let them have their conversation. I was low key about to pass out until I saw your until I saw
I've got
your
to jump
text.
down really quick anyway.
Yeah.
I'm almost home, and I got all my groceries, and we got
Well,
to
I
make dinner
wanted to
and stuff.
chime in while Martha was up here. Real
I'll be
quick.
here
I'll
for
be
like
quick.
3 more minutes. I'm almost home, so I'll be here for a little bit longer. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to send something to you in message that backs up a lot of what John is saying. I watched, I think, Mia Hughes on Peter Boghossian, and she goes into the whole, even what he was talking about the limbs.
Yeah, the
And
apotemnophilia. I actually watched that Peter Boghossian. I watch everything from Mia Hughes because
did
I
you
love her.
watch it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
watch everything Mia Hughes does.
Yeah, and another thing, John, that I wanted to point out, and I've really noticed it a lot where I didn't notice it before, but I've noticed certain gay guys that come up on the panel, I won't mention any names, that seem to defend the troonery.
Bingo.
And then come to find out they're actually would go there.
What do you mean
And
go
that's
there?
why they would go with the trans, and that's
Like they
why
want, they're DL chasers or something.
they're gay.
Mm.
They're gay guys, and they actually are kind of chasers as far as
You know what the technical name for that is, Crystal?
what?
GAMP.
Can I just say we got
Gynoandromorphified.
only 5,000 likes? That's
Oh,
like
I will
that's atrocious.
tap.
yeah, like it, please. I've been on here for
How the
about
hell does she have 5,000
Okay.
likes?
yeah.
Oh,
I've been on here for like six hours. Give me some freaking likes. Sorry.
I can't type. There's something saying your mic is muted for texting.
Oh yeah. I muted you because I wanted you to come up. Hold on.
Okay.
Haha. And also because a lot of your things were getting censored.
Troon.
Okay, I gotta jump down, guys. Yeah.
Seeing that a lot of people won't allow it because it comes across as too extreme, but I don't think it is, and I see where it's coming from. And I didn't see it before. I might have thought like a drag show was funny, years ago, but I just can't. I can't. Now that I know everything that I know, I just can't.
John, what do you think to the females who do this?
You mean the drag king shows?
No, the ones that morph.
The gynoandromorphophiles, the GAMPs?
No, the female troons, like as you'd put it.
The female troons are like your friend Lisa that was here, that you call Lurch or whatever her name was. They're just female troons. They're mentally ill Smex predators. They're coming into the gay men's spaces and tricking us now into Smex. One of my friends was, what is that word you use on TikTok? Graped 2 months ago by one of them. They look fantastic because they're in their 20s. Their bones haven't disintegrated yet, and their slipping hips and the strokes and stuff hasn't set in yet. They've got the muscles, they've got the hair, they've got the cute faces, and they were on puberty blockers. So their shoulder to hip ratio is of a man, but they have a vagina. and it's too late. Once they're in the house of this female troon, they're like, oh, it's rude. And they went through with it. I was like, holy shit. I didn't think this would happen to
I
one.
wouldn't have gone through with it. I would have been like, bye.
No, he went through with it out of politeness.
Okay, what about if they're
No.
like gay then? I know you don't give credence to like the HSTS, but what about like the gay female ones? Like
Same
do you not
shit.
give
They
them-
can get in the bin. You LARP as the opposite sex, nuts, get in the bin. I don't care what your orientation is.
Okay.
You get no
like,
free passes, sorry.
do you not think they're running for? Because this is my assumption. Is
I
that-
don't care. That's a grown ass woman LARPing as the opposite sex. No victim card here, mama.
Okay. Okay.
If that was a
have
14-year-old girl,
I do have
I'm be
one
with you, Layla.
concern. I do have one concern. I don't know how to get through to or treat these young people that like their parents allowed them to do this. Like, I think they've been like shroomed in these Reddit troon places as young girls and young boys. I mean, I don't even know what to do about that. That's the only part for me that I have a hard time with. Because I feel heartbroken that was done to them as a child.
But what about when they grow up?
Yeah, well, when they grow up, yeah, that's a whole different thing. I'd like
You
to
know how
catch
old
them
Jazz
before
Jennings
that.
is now?
How old is
Isn't
she
like
now?
24?
Yeah. Did you see what she was doing to those children for the OnlyFans corn?
Wait, who? Who?
Jazz
What?
Jennings.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
No. I
Yeah.
didn't see anything.
Marcy Bowers, that man LARPing as a woman, that doctor, was having a chit chat with her, going, "This is a possibility for you." And that maybe
Oh my
you can.
God.
Yeah. This is
Wait,
Jazz
what?
Jennings now.
Wait, say that again, John. What do you what?
Do you know that doctor that butchered her?
I don't. Yeah.
Marcy Bowers. It's a man LARPing as a woman.
Yeah.
The
Oh my
surgeon.
god.
Yeah.
And
They
he-
do all
and
the
he said
television
what?
shows, and they were
Mhm.
talking about possibility of OnlyFans.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
How was that contextualized for like telly though? Like
Why?
how was that brought? Yeah, how the fuck was that brought up?
The whole thing is sick. There's another
that is
famous
sick.
troon. Do you know Buck Angel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That monster, evil rat woman did porn for 20, 25 years. All right.
Yep.
And trooned out hundreds of young teenage girls. Is now pimping out more girls for her own porn films and has got like 200,000 followers.
I thought Book Angel was against the young
They're
indoctrinate.
frauds,
like,
my dear. Frauds.
Blair White.
Fraud. The sickest fraud out there. Robert White and Susan. I don't use troon names. Robert White is a walking, talking billboard for troonery. What does a gay person see when they see that this is an option for me to spend $300,000 on a boob job? All right. And LARP as a woman with 600,000 followers. If you look at the likes and the comments, I watch these assholes like a hawk. 95% of the comments and likes under Robert White are women.
Yeah, I used to watch Blair. So is it just red herring? Is it like demonizing like the divvy ones?
Let me clue you in what's going on.
Propagate themselves.
They wet their finger and they put it up to the wind and they're like, "Ooh, the winds are changing. Gosh, what am I going to do for my self-preservation here? I know if you can't beat them, join them." So she's joined the conservatives, the TERFs. Yeah, that's exactly what Buck Angel and a bunch of these other troons that I follow very closely that are now coming onto TikTok. They've been exposed on X. They're fleeing over to TikTok. And Martha and Envy and some know one or two of these people. They're coming here to set up shop by ingratiating themselves with the TERFs here. They're sick, fucking devious assholes, these guys.
Okay, so Jeff Youngers, the one with the alleged kid that was like going to convert, right? He said that Republicans funded this.
What?
Well, did you
No,
see Donald Trump after he got elected, who he posed with the next day at Mar-a-Lago?
no, I didn't.
The big poobah of troonery himself, Bruce Jenner, standing shoulder to shoulder with him the next day. Yeah.
Uh,
Paul Singer, he's a multi-billionaire. He's funding Bruce Jenner at a tune of $30 million to run as governor. At the same time, he funds the Manhattan Institute with Colin Wright and Christina Buttons, the Gays Against Groomers, Helen Pluckworth. They're two-faced, paid opposition, these people. When you follow the money, you're like, holy shit. They're actually pro-troons, but on the other side, they're funding I call them GroomSpect, but they're actually, they're called GenSpect. Maya Hughes is the chapter lead for GenSpect in Canada, who is funded by these pro-troon billionaires, Paul Singer, through the Manhattan Institute.
So,
Same thing with SEGM. That's an affiliate of GroomSpect. I got receipts on all these assholes.
So what are they trying to accomplish?
They're playing both sides, Crystal. When this is a $4.3 billion pharmaceutical medical industry.
Honestly, you know who?
You don't think there's going to be controlled opposition
Yeah.
there?
What they're interested in is money. They're not interested in anything else. If you really think about it,
bigger
politicians,
agenda.
they're interested in money and things like that, you know? What can further their career. So
So
they
is it
aren't
for
interested in what's better for the population itself. They're considering like themselves and what will fill their pockets.
Okay, so okay, it's money, right? But what's the other things that have like? So it's, as far as I know, it's like gay conversion eugenics.
But you'd have to ask yourself, why would someone be funding both sides?
Oh, thank you.
Why would they do that, right?
Mm.
It's double dipping. The bankers have done this for the wars for 100 years. They fund both sides. Same shit is happening here. We have too much money invested in this. We're gonna, like Gays Against Groomers, you think they really are anti-trans or trans ideology? Does anyone think they're anti-trans ideology?
Well,
They've got 500,000 followers, okay, just on X alone.
Oh.
They are not. They are pro-LGB and they are not anti-trans. They're pushing Buck Angel. They're pushing Blair White. They've got a drag queen. Do people not have eyes in their heads? You don't see this?
So what do we do to the ones that have already mutilate themselves? Because then there'd never be full women. They would be a woman, but I mean, there'd always be a mutilated woman. There'd always be a mutilated man. Do you not think some of them just progress with this, and you know, there's just a continuum of this because of that? Do you have sympathy for the ones who acknowledge like what they've done, but continue?
You're next level stupid. If you think you can chop off your tits and turn into a man, you're next level stupid. 0. Get in the bin, you idiots. If you're a teenager, fine. You got mother and father getting a divorce. Maybe the uncle diddled you. You know, you've got anxiety, OCD, ADD. I get it. No problem. You're a teenager. Once you're in your 20s, then you got no excuse for propagating this. You're a perpetrator once you continue that in your 20s. Just like Lisa here, munching on her chips for the last hour. Fuck her.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Get it now?
What made you click to this? Like, because so much of the, like, not to like group you guys together, but so much support it. They're saying that they're part of the T. You kind of say this, and most of them, I'd say that I held space for the homosexual transsexuals. So like, why are you so like? What made you,
Layla,
click?
you got duped. You, as we call it in the lingo, you got troon jacked. That's how devious these troons are. Okay, they duped you. and every other white liberal, I call them awfuls, affluent white liberal women. That's who's mainly pushing this stuff. They have weak-minded, bleeding hearts that going, oh, this is just gay 2.0. If you think for another 3 seconds, you're like, no, wait a minute. Gays don't need scalpels and drugs and pharmaceutical companies. This has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I thought they were convert.
No,
like,
my dear. They're parasites. They're
I
laying
thought
their
they-
eggs in every crevice of society.
I thought they had internalized homophobia. And
Oh, no. So I'm going to chop
that's-
off my dick and tits. Give me a break.
Yeah, and I thought they thought it'd be easier to be a woman because of how like demonized gay people were. But then
Layla,
I realized
we're
that
not
we've
living
got-
in, if they were living in Weimar, Germany in the 20s, I get it, right? In the last 5 years, we've had 40,000 kids mutilate their bodies. 179 of them were 12 years old. What kind of tits does a 12-year-old have to have them chopped off?
Oh, that's vile. That's vile.
When you
That is
support these
vile.
gay troons, this is what you're contributing to. Martha, Schmartha, all the TERFs here, the GCs, when they contribute to this, they're exactly doing that, feeding into this sick, sinister lie. Through their own knee-jerk reaction to perk the gays, they're propagating it and keeping it alive. Fuck them, every single one of them.
Like John, but this is what I'm saying. Like, what was your turning point? Like, how did you start going against this ideology? And like everyone, because so many
I
like
studied my enemy. The art of war says don't hate your enemy, right?
Mhm.
Use them, study them, do as they do unto them. I studied these troons, every space they had. What are they doing? What's new? What's changed? What's evolved? What's the new MO? The TERFs on